When Celeste came out in 2018, I was excited for a tough-as-nails platformer to fill that hole left by Super Meat Boy and The End Is Nigh. And if you had asked me at the time, I probably would have said that those had the perfect amount of story for one of these. They are fast-paced, nail-biting, and demanding reflex challenges. Just get me to the meat of things. I want to jump. I want to problem solve. I want to thread the needle so close I have to hold my breath. That's all I wanted going into Celeste. Fortunately for me, Extremely OK Games knew what I needed. In Celeste, you play as Madeline, a listless and unsure young woman who is struggling with her mental health and wants to climb Celeste Mountain to prove something to herself. What she doesn't know is that the mountain is magical and has much more in store for her than she thinks. She meets a few faces, some helpful and others not so much, but she learns to better care for herself and connect to people as she goes on her journey. And I adore these little characters. The old lady whose laughter literally follows you off screen right after she negs you, or Theo, who just wants to take good pictures and gain a following on Instapics. A lot of people hate him, but crack your cynical little hearts a bit and let this charming guy in. Just listen to how he says YOLO. But the story really starts when you come across a mirror that reflects something a little different. Another version of Madeline who breaks out and chases you down. Throughout the game, she will stalk and hurl insults at you. The fan base has taken to calling her Badeline, which is cute and has stuck, but originally she was referred to as part of you, which is important. At first, Madeline sees this as her weak side, trying to tear her down, and seeks to excise her. But it becomes clear as she continues to trek up the mountain that Badeline more so represents her insecurities. If you follow me on social media, you know that I'm not shy about being a bipolar creative and the struggles that I have with that. I see myself in Madeline, the manic desire to help people and the self-defeating lows of not loving who you see in the mirror. Celeste is about being at war with oneself. It's about realizing that you're subconsciously tearing yourself down, about the part of you that reacts out of fear, about artificially separating your good and bad parts instead of accepting yourself. It does a good job at verbalizing disconnectedness. This is why people with anxiety and depression see themselves in this story. But there's more here under the surface. Maddie Thorson, the director of the game, came out as trans after its release. She said that she wasn't aware that herself and Madeline were trans during development, but it's clear to her now that they both are, saying in a beautiful write-up called "Is Madeline Canonically Trans?" that if you're not trans and feel a connection to Celeste, you could take this as evidence that trans and cis feelings aren't so different, that the chasm between transness and cisness isn't such a wide gulf, and that most of the ways that trans existence is alien to you are the result of unjust social othering and oppression. In fact, it shouldn't be surprising that a game where a young woman climbs a magical mountain and attempts to abandon her reflection only to reconcile with it and come out a truer version of herself is trans as hell. However, when Madeline says, "I'm good at keeping up appearances, but the truth is, I'm barely holding it together," I think it's a pretty universal language for pain that we can all feel. And with things such a bad way in the world right now, I'm not gonna lie, I feel this hard. I'm scared. I have an instinct to bury my head in the sand and just pretend that I'm not queer. I'm afraid for the people I love. What if I can't keep them safe? What if I can't withstand a winter that feels like it could last forever? The easy thing to do would be for me to beat myself up, to run away from my insecurities instead of learning to understand and grow with them. But there isn't a bad me and a good me. There's the me I choose to become. I'm non-binary. I'm bi. And I want to eat your french fries. But for me, this game helped so I could truly look at my reflection and think about what I wanted to see. And I hope cisgender people that play this can maybe understand how alike we all are. We're just people, trying to do our best. I think it's easy in our overly ironic world to scoff at a video game being able to change anything. But what else is storytelling for than to connect us to others? It's okay to feel defeated. God knows I'm feeling it. But I encourage you to be compassionate, safe, and as unapologetically yourself as your situation allows. Just don't let yourself become your own enemy. There are tons of people out there ready to beat you down. Don't be one of them. That's gonna do it for this one. I certainly hope you enjoyed it. If you did, all the normal shenanigans mean the world. Like, comment, subscribe, and share it with cool people. You can also support me by sending donations over Ko-fi, link in the description. See you next time.